My very first camera, well, to be exact, my first camera was a DJI Mavic Pro. And my first actual handheld camera was a Fujifilm X-T20. I would say how I got started with photography was with my DJI Mavic Pro. I remember when DJI released the Mavic Pro, I thought it was the most awesome product to have because it was remote control quadcopter. It could give you a live feed of what it was seeing. So I bought the DJI Mavic Pro and I started taking really good pictures with it. And then I wanted my pictures to become better, so I started researching aperture, shutter speed, ISO, and I maxed out the potential of my drone I was flying, and I was even doing astrophotography with my drone. And then I wanted to take my photography experience even further and get better at it, but then I realized I don't need to be flying to take pictures. I can take pictures with a handheld camera, and I'm pretty sure some handheld cameras would do better than what my little tiny image sensor drone is doing. So I started doing some research, and then I went out and I bought a Fujifilm X-T20, and from that moment on I was just hooked onto it. I was absolutely fascinated with camera lenses, how you can take amazing pictures, and I've been doing it ever since. Just about every weekend I go out and I take pictures, and I absolutely love it, and I still do photography with my drone as well. Oh boy, I do get asked that question quite often. What is my favorite type of photography to do? I generally love the challenge of just about all types of photography. I really did carry it away with some astrophotography. I'd be going up to Lake Tahoe over by Mount Rose and be doing astrophotography every weekend, and I absolutely love doing that. And then I shot some weddings for some friends, helped them shoot the wedding, and I love the challenge of that, trying to find the right moment to take the picture of the bride and the groom and the people who were there, capturing a moment of it. I've done family portraits as well. I've done some pictures of some cars. I've done pictures of real estate. I don't think I actually have a favorite type of thing to take pictures of, because I love the challenge of photography and figuring out a way to make something look good, to make people see things the way you see them actually when you see whatever you're at. So I don't exactly have a favorite type, but I have been carried away with astrophotography especially, I would say that. Well, I don't exactly know what everyone thinks of when I'm asked, do I shoot professionally? I definitely do go to the full advantage what I am capable of doing. I definitely go to full capabilities what my camera can do. I always make sure that I put on a professional image whenever I go shoot at a wedding or shoot for events especially. I dress up properly, I talk professionally, I try to be formal when I'm doing it. I try to communicate the best I can whenever I'm doing shoots for other people. If it's just myself, I just go and get what I want, but if I'm doing photography or video for someone else, I will be as professional as I can be. So if professionalism means giving a professional image, communicating properly, and doing the best job you can that's best for the client or the person, I would say yes, I do shoot professionally. I have not had any formal photography training. I love photography so much where I'll be up till about 2 a.m. almost every night just researching things, researching complex situations, researching camera models, realizing how people got this particular picture, how to do this, how to do that. I could have gone to a class and been taught professionally, but I think my desire to learn drove me to learn even faster than what a class would have taught me. I do make sure that I listen to other people who've been shooting longer than I have, because you never know what someone else may tell you. So someone may tell me something that I never thought of before, and I try it out and I realize, wow, they were right about that. So I am always trying to learn, become a better photographer, a better videographer. So I try not to take too much pride in my knowledge, because I know that if I become too prideful, I may not learn anymore. And I think it's important to always continue to learn. So I'm always having my ears open to listen to other photographers, whether they've been shooting for a month or a decade. I want to hear what have they been going through, because I may learn something from it. Oh boy. Well, I don't think I actually got to know any photographers until after I was doing photography myself for quite a while. I believe his name is Peter McKinnon. He's on YouTube and Instagram, and I know he's obviously quite passionate about the photography he does. And I like watching his videos and his tutorials on how to do stuff too. I think what I like most about his videos is watching him describe his passion about it. So I really admire that about any photographers that are really passionate about it and they just want to talk about all this cool stuff they did. I really admire that in someone. So some people who are very well known photographers like Peter McKinnon or Jared Polin on YouTube, I think those guys are pretty inspirational with their photography. They're definitely the experts at it. Oh boy. Yeah, focal length all depends on what you're shooting. I definitely love the shorter focal lengths, the 1.4 apertures. I mean, I love big aperture lenses. It's amazing what you can do with them. Aperture can definitely help you direct the attention of the viewer on the subject of a photo. It is definitely a challenge when you're taking a picture of multiple people at once, where some people are further ahead, some people are behind. You want them all to be in focus. So yeah, the aperture game is always a challenge regarding whatever you may be taking pictures of, but I'm not sure if I exactly have a favorite aperture, because some situations I love a very small aperture, some applications I love a really large aperture. I think it all depends on the lens. Every lens has a sweet spot with regarding sharpness and focus, and the aperture setting always varies across lenses. So that's a tough question to answer, but I definitely love doing the portraits of people with the big aperture numbers. Well, actually, the smaller number aperture numbers. I do love doing portraits. I think that's a very cool effect. I have quite a few photos that are my favorites. I keep on my favorites folder in my iPhone to show people. Definitely a few of the Milky Way, some portraits I've done of some friends of mine, my classic truck that I've restored. I think I have maybe about 3 main photos. They're all different astrophotography, pictures of people and cars. Those are definitely my favorite photos. I'm quite pleased with how well they turned out. Favorite photo that I've seen? I'm sure there are some, but there's amazing pictures that people have taken out there. If I remember it right, there's a photo called Beautiful Suicide. I believe that's what it's called, but it was a picture taken in New York. It's a picture of a young woman who jumped off a building to commit suicide, and she landed on top of a car, and she crushed the roof of the car down to the dashboard basically. But her body looked like it was still intact, like she was sleeping on a hammock. And I don't know his name, but some photographer went up to her. He took the picture of her, and it was a picture that made me really stop and think about it. Quite thought-provoking, and where it displayed was this young, beautiful woman who had a lot given to her, but there was a trouble she had that nobody really knew about. She, on the outside, looked like she was perfect, like everything was totally fine with her life. But on the inside, she was depressed, or something happened to her that's devastating, where she wanted to commit suicide. So what that picture captured about her, on the outside, her body looked perfectly intact, but the fact was, on the inside of her body, probably every bone was broken. So that's why the picture is called A Beautiful Suicide, because on the outside, she's beautiful, but on the inside, she's completely broken. That picture was quite thought-provoking to me in a way. Of course, it's very sad. It's a tragic picture to see, but there's definitely some beauty into it. It's definitely an emotional picture to look at. I've seen some pictures of World War II about some people reacting to the way it is, what happened in their country that time, and warfare is absolutely horrible. And the pictures capture what the person's feeling and allows the viewer to feel a bit of that as well. And I think that really stands out to me with photography, is the ability to capture not just the view, what's happening, but also capture the moment, the emotion. And that emotion can be preserved for who knows how long, where people who haven't even been born yet can see that and have a little bit of relation with that photo. So that's something that has stood out to me regarding what photography can do. What inspires me to create is I'll go to these beautiful places, or I will see something I think that is awesome. I love that view, that thing or whatever, that's an awesome thing, or that's something that deserves to be preserved for other people to see. And what photography does, it allows me to capture things in a way that I may have seen it. People may go to the same scenic spot or see something that I may see, but they may not see it the same way that I see it. I can take a camera and I can construct it in a way where it directs people's attention to kind of see it the way I was seeing it. Of course, I can't make everybody view the world that I view it, but I can make people kind of see things the way I observe things. So that's something that I love about photography, where I can see something, feel it, and capture a glimpse of it and share it with other people to kind of experience the same thing I was experiencing when I first saw that view. Oh boy, too much money. Inside my camera bag, I have a Fujifilm X-T3. I have a 16mm 1.4 lens, fantastic lens. I have my 50mm f2 lens. I have my DJI Mavic Pro 2. I have several other lenses in there, other random miscellaneous camera equipment. I got that in my bag, so if I'm ever ready to go do something, just grab that bag and go with me. That's just my bag, but I have so much other camera equipment in my closet. It takes me like a half hour to load up my car with all this stuff to go shoot stuff. But yeah, I do have quite a bit of stuff, but my main setup is my Fujifilm X-T3 with either my 50mm lens or my 16mm lens. Selfies, well, I need a very good description what people mean by selfie. Selfie can be where you just take your iPhone out and take a picture like that. I've seen some people go hardcore where they have a professional camera set up and they take a picture of them taking a selfie. I have seen people who taking pictures of themselves where they had the camera remotely controlled or on timer. I guess a selfie is when a camera takes a picture of you and you're the one who operated that camera, take a picture of yourself. I have taken some selfies of myself, yes, but I very rarely post selfies. I would say I mainly have taken selfies just to experiment with my camera regarding portrait photography and trying to figure out what worked, what didn't work, because I want to be ready when I do take portraits of other people. So yes, I am guilty of taking selfies, although I try to be considerate of other people and not annoy people with my selfies, so I'll try to keep it to a minimal. Social media, I think social media is a tool. Just like any tool, it can be used for good, it can be used for bad. I use social media for good things. I try to use it for the best. I try to do my best not to be a narcissist. I try to use social media to make friends, meet other people, to share what I'm passionate about, learn what other people are passionate about. I think 80% of the reason why I have an Instagram is just for photography and videography. I want to share what I'm doing to show other people that I meet other photographers. I met other people out of state. I travel to those states to meet those people and do photography with them. I think it'd be a great tool. Social media can be a great tool for a numerous amount of things, but it all depends on what your desires are, what you want to do with it. If you tend to use it for something good or something bad. I intend to use social media for the benefit of not just for everyone, but also for myself with my hobby. I have always had, I chose to do photography as a hobby because there were lots of times in my life where I saw something beautiful and I thought, I wish I could just capture that moment that I'm in to share with other people. And then when I started getting into photography, I realized, hey, this is quite fun. The challenges of trying to get this picture is quite fun. It's awesome. I love doing it. And I just got carried away with it, doing excessive research every night till 2 o'clock in the morning, just researching lenses, camera bodies, how people got this particular picture. And I just got carried away with it where I can't stop thinking about it, basically. I do have a numerous amount of other hobbies that I do, but photography, I think, is a real fun thing because other people can be involved with it as well. I can meet great people, learn some stories about them. I can interview them, take pictures of them. I can share those moments with other people to help other people learn in a way. There's just so many good things you can do with photography. I am quite a social person. I love being around other people and making friends, and photography is a great way to do that kind of thing. There are a numerous amount of cameras that I absolutely love. I absolutely love my Fujifilm X-T3. However, there are some other cameras I would actually love to get. One of them is the, I believe it's the Panasonic S1H. I think that is a phenomenal camera for photography and videography. Another camera I really would like to get would be the Fujifilm GFX 50S. That's the medium format camera. I think that camera can work wonders, and all the lenses you can put on those cameras you can have an amazing setup with that. But again, the camera is not what makes someone a good photographer. The passion aside, someone what makes them a good photographer. So anybody with any camera can take great, amazing photos. The camera is just a tool, and what you do with it is up to you. How good your pictures are is up to you. But I really admire the medium format cameras made by Fujifilm and the SH1 made by Panasonic. Where is my photography going? I think I'm always going to have a camera with me, and I'm going to continue taking pictures of things that I love. There may be some things I'm taking pictures of now that I may start to lose interest in a little bit, where I said I've had my fun in that area and I'm more attracted to some other things instead. I think only time will tell what it is I discover, what it is I want to progress further in. There may be some things I kind of leave behind. There may be some things I go doing that I didn't think I would do. I think that regardless of wherever direction I do go, I think I'm going to continue to feed my passion with it. I am really stoked to see what the future of photography is going to be like. I hear people all the time saying, why should I go buy a $3,000 camera body when my iPhone can take a picture that's just as good? But what people don't realize is the same manufacturers are making the image sensors in your iPhone or your Samsung Galaxy S. Those are the same manufacturers making the image sensors for full-size cameras. And image sensor technology is always getting better. Technology and glass is always getting better. It's always increasing. So what people don't realize is that the technology going to your phone make it take better pictures, also going to full-size cameras to make the pictures even better as well. And if you compare cameras throughout history, the first cell phone camera versus the digital camera back then, the digital camera was always better, and the cell phone eventually caught up to it, but when the cell phone caught up to the other camera, it got better. So it's like a cat and mouse game. Cell phones get better, but then full-size cameras get better too. And the thing is, during the same time period, the full-size camera is always better than the cell phone is because it has a full-size lens, a bigger image sensor. So I am really stoked to see what's going to happen with camera technology regarding taking pictures in low light settings, because that's always been the biggest challenge. Photographers are making their shutter speeds as slow as possible. They're trying to keep their ISO down low as possible. That way the picture quality is good, but cameras every year get better and better and better at absorbing light and allows people to take pictures in dark settings. My mom has a Nikon camera from the mid-2000s, and it doesn't do all that well inside the house because it's not all that bright. And back in the day, the first cell phone camera, if you were shooting a picture inside the house, the picture didn't turn out that great because it wasn't bright enough. But now today, you can take a picture in just about any place and it turns out well. And I know that technology is only going to continue to get better. It's only going to get better in every aspect, basically. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what cameras can do in the next 10 years. And they're going to capture things our cameras today could never have captured. So I'm stoked to see where the future goes with technology regarding photography. My favorite challenges when it comes to photography is coming to the scene. I see, okay, this is what I need to capture. How am I going to do this? What lens do I need? What shutter speed do I need? There's many questions come to mind. I love the challenge of thinking, okay, this is what I got. This is what I can do with it. Let's try this out and see how far it gets. One example of something that I am really proud about that I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to be filming a video of my classic truck in a parking garage, and the parking garage is quite dark. And on video, I can't bring my shutter speed down too much because it's not going to absorb enough light. So the problem is, I want to film a video of a car sitting still in the parking garage and have my camera pan back and forth with my slider. The problem is, it's too dark in the garage to do a video. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take 2,000 raw photos of it. My slider has a feature where I can put my camera on it. It'll move a little tiny increment, take a picture, move another increment, take another picture. So I'm going to be taking about 2,000 raw photos of my camera moving back and forth, kind of like a stop motion picture. I'm going to take those raw photos and add a preset to all of them. And that's going to allow me to take all those photos, put them together as frames in a video. So as long as everything is not moving in the environment, I can use my camera to record raw video, which in very few situations you can actually do that. But my Fujifilm was not meant to record raw video, but I still found out a way to make it record raw video where I can have the exposure I want, any exposure I want for recording video. So that is a complicated but example of one of the challenges that I love. Is I see, okay, this place is too dark. What can I do about it? What can I do to make this place better? Some of the challenges I love is taking a picture of Lake Tahoe where I want to see the whole lake, but the lake needs a lot of exposure to see it at nighttime. And if the exposure is too long, all the stars are going to start trailing. So what I'll do, I'll take a picture of the stars alone and then a picture of the lake, and I'll Photoshop it where I have the best of both worlds together. We can see everything. So there's just so many challenges regarding photography and videography where it requires you to really stop and think about the situation. What is it that you have? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? And if you have the passion in you, nothing's going to stop you from finding a way. It's just like the saying, nothing's impossible. If there's a will, there's a way. And I love to find a way to make it work. Yeah, my advice would be for someone who's getting into photography is don't get distracted with the super fancy camera rigs the other professional photographers may have. What you need to focus on is how a camera works, how you capture an image, and let the passion in you drive you for what you want to do with it. You can take a picture with any camera and have it turn out great. It's just that if you have an understanding about how a camera works, nothing can stop you. And I actually like the challenge. Even though I have a great camera set right now, I love the challenge of picking up maybe an old 10-year-old pocket Canon camera and taking a great picture with it and showing it to people, and they say, whoa, what kind of camera do you have? And I say, it's a 10-year-old pocket Canon camera. And they say, well, how do you make it look that great? And I say, well, I understand the basis of photography. I understand how to take what this camera needs regarding exposure and everything to take a good picture. So I believe with any camera, you can take a great picture. In fact, I've heard stories of people who have what's called a cereal box camera, and they literally made a camera out of a cereal box. They got after they finished having their last bowl of Reese's Puffs, they took the bag out and they put a strip of film inside of it, and they put a little tiny pinhole on the nutrition facts side of the cereal box, and they put a piece of duct tape over it, and they went outside and they pulled the strip back, and they have it open for who knows how long, and then they close it. Then they take the film out and get it developed and have this great picture. And again, people say, whoa, what kind of camera was that? They say, it's a Reese's Cereal Puff box. And what that proves is that if you have the passion for photography, the camera is not going to matter all that much. What matters is your passion, your knowledge, your drive is what matters the most. So focus on that. Be up late at night like I was, researching how to take great pictures, how to function a camera, and as you get better and better at it, you'll be able to upgrade your camera eventually. There's plenty of hand-me-down cameras out there you can buy, use, or inherit from somebody else, but the camera is not going to stop you if you have the passion. The point is you have to have the passion and the drive for it. As long as you have that, you're going to be unstoppable.